Show right here on WBOK, 1230 a.m. I'm Will Sutton, and with me is Mason.
Good morning.
Mason Harrison, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well.
Were you cold or chilly or warm coming in this morning?
A little cool this morning, unfortunately.
Yeah. But you kind of like it?
No, I don't.
Well, there's no snow or sleet.
Yeah, that's good. And listen, normally I am all for temperatures of this nature. I like it cool.
Like right where it is right now?
No, a little higher, so 55.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Right,
Okay,
but
this
this is a bit cool.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and a little too windy as well.
So you're more in the 55 or 65.
Yeah, that's my preference.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome back to New Orleans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how much of the year we have 55 or 65.
Yeah, not many, but when we can get it, I appreciate it. But that's why I certainly have a much stronger appreciation for latitudes north of this one. Right?
Yes.
Those temperatures are much more common there.
Yeah, absolutely. I hear you, and I enjoy getting down to 55, 65. I don't really need below 55 and 50 much anymore in my life. I'll take it. I'll deal with it.
Sweater weather, but not coat weather.
No. Yeah. All
That's
these
my
layers,
preference.
and I'm happy to have my big. I don't know how many pounds that jacket weighs. It must weigh 10, 12 pounds. I don't know. But,
the one you're wearing today?
No, not this.
Oh,
one.
okay.
No, it's much heavier than this. But I really don't want to use it much anymore.
So each year that I spent in Chicago, each winter, I purchased a new coat because the coat from the previous year I found to be inadequate. So by the time I moved back down here, I had several coats, none of which I could use anymore. So I've dispensed with all of that, and so now I just have a windbreaker, a small coat, and I guess a knee length coat in case it gets really cold here. But this morning is a bit cool for me, and so I would appreciate when the sun comes out, things will be a bit warmer.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit warmer, but it's not going to be warm in the way that most of us New Orleanians like to think of warm to hot. So we're not quite ready for that yet.
No, and just recently we had temperatures, of course, flirting with the 80s. So this is quite the sea change.
Yeah, it's. I don't know how people can say there's no climate change. I mean, this is different.
Yeah, it's incredibly different. And as we continue to move throughout this spring and into the summer, it'll be interesting to see how temperatures adjust. And I don't know if this bodes well for what the weather will be like this summer, or if it'll be brutally hot as it normally is. But certainly we're contending with some very unusual weather this spring.
Yep. Well, for those of you who celebrate anything there is to celebrate, hope you're wearing your green today. St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, come on. Well, that's not our holiday.
I'm not wearing green. But here's why I bring it up.
Okay.
So there's the Downtown Irish Club Parade today.
Okay.
And so the New Orleans Police Department is advising drivers not to park along the parade route, the formation areas, the disband areas. Vehicles parked in restricted areas might be towed. The towing's going to be over at that famous 400 North Claiborne Avenue with the Auto Pound. So if you are going to be driving anywhere near Frenchman Street and Royal, Frenchman to Esplanade, Esplanade to North Peters to Decatur, Decatur to Canal, Magazine to Gravier, Tchoupitoulas, Girard, and over by Lucy's Restaurant at 701 Tchoupitoulas, be forewarned.
Mm-hmm.
Wearing green or not, celebrating or not. And for those of you who, like me, I completely forgot it was St. Patrick's Day.
Mm-hmm.
I was just looking for weather and traffic information. So it's been a little while since I was in an area where it was like really big. I realized people celebrated here. There were certainly a lot of people in green this weekend I saw. But
well, didn't you live in Chicago or thereabouts?
Yes.
Okay, it's a big deal
Philadelphia.
there. Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
So in those two places, especially Chicago, as you know.
Yes.
What is that they do to the water?
They dye the river green each year. The Chicago River, that is. Yeah, it's a big deal there. A lot of Irish
It's a
immigrants
huge
in
deal.
Chicago.
It's the first time I saw. I'd seen it in video and pictures,
Hmm.
but to see it live and in person, a
I
green
actually
river.
never went down there.
Oh, you
and
did? Oh,
I have no
okay.
reason to.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah,
But I know of it because it was heavily covered every year.
yeah. Yep, yep, yep. Well,
Hmm.
uh, we
Do you
have.
recall last year the St. Patrick's Day parade, and this black family goes to the parade,
Yes.
and I'm thinking to myself, well, why were you there in the first place? But the issue was someone tossed them a banana from the float, and etched into the banana was a racial slur. And then
Now that was clearly intentional.
of course it was. And the woman was interviewed on a local news channel, and she demanded an apology. And so, of course, the network, the name of which I don't recall, I don't know if it was WWL or WDSU, one of these, reached out to the parade organizers and interviewed the captain or someone who was in leadership, and of course they expressed their regret and things of this nature. But my first question is, well, why did you want to attend this parade to begin with? I mean, if you understand the history of the Irish in this country, this should not be something that you would find entertaining. I would encourage everyone, given that it is St. Patrick's Day, if you have not read this book, please do, How the Irish Became White. And it will explain
Yeah,
to you
that's a good point.
the nature of the Irish coming here and how they matriculated into what is now whiteness, and how they did so in large part by separating themselves from us. So this is nothing for us to celebrate, in my view.
Yet there are more than 70,000 people who consider themselves Black Irish.
Meaning,
They look somewhat like you and I,
hmm
but they are born, reared, or have Irish parents, and they claim that part of their heritage, which is, I don't know, seems like a complication to me.
and that's putting it mildly. I was watching MSNBC maybe, I don't know, a year or two ago, and there is a journalist there. Her name escapes me right now, but she is on the editorial board of the New York Times. And by all appearances, she would be a person of African descent, but apparently she does have Irish lineage. And so and for some reason, Ireland or Irish people or something to that effect was the topic at this moment. And she on national television just referred to herself as Irish. I thought, okay, well, yeah,
Was she saying that was her?
not exclusively, not
Okay.
exclusively,
Oh, okay.
but she did
Okay.
say, "Well, I'm Irish," and right, and this was a part of whatever sentence,
Okay.
whatever point she was trying to make, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, there's so much that could be said about that, but I'll just suffice to say it. Recommend that book and reemphasize that this is not an event for us.
Well, I appreciate that. So the two things we are recommending is the book that Mason just recommended, and beware of those who are celebrating today, and beware of the traffic.
Yeah,
So those are our recommendations.
those are our takeaways
Yeah, right.
from this holy day.
All right, folks. It's 7:09 a.m. You're listening to the Good Morning Show. I'm Will Sutton, and I've got Mason Harrison along with me for the ride today. We got a great show ahead, and you're going to hear more about that as we move along. But we're going to be bringing you a bit of news and information and other things that we think you should know, want to know, or might want to know. And that includes the New Orleans Police Chief, Ann Kirkpatrick.
Hmm.
She's going to be here today. So,
And I think she's Irish. She might be wearing green.
hey, that Kirkpatrick name. So, yeah, she might be. So, there's lots going on with New Orleans police and security and
Mhm.
the interplay and interaction between not just our police department, but other police departments and ICE, Border Patrol, Homeland Security. A lot's going on. So
Indeed.
we're going to hear more from her. And of course, we had incidents with during the carnival season. So
Hmm.
I don't know if we're going to have enough time. All right, it's 7:10 a.m. This is WBOK. Mason, what's that talk line in case anybody wants to talk with us?
The talk line is 504-582-9422. Give us a call at 504-582-9422.
All right, this is WBOK 1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about.
all day long.
Hey, this is Dave Poston. Be sure to listen to WBOK 1230 AM every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. and Sunday evening at 5 p.m., bringing you the best Southern Soul barroom music with the Southern Soul Weekend Party Mix, hosted by me, of course. I'll be playing your favorite Southern Soul music by artists from all over the South, right here on WBOK 1230 AM or online at WBOK1230.com. The station you listen to longer. Listen to longer. Listen to longer.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. Cities across the country are struggling to provide affordable housing, but New Rochelle, a city just a train ride away from Manhattan, is working on a new approach that's bolstering affordable places to live. Led by Mayor Yadira Ramos Herbert, the New Rochelle model is responsible for adding over 4,500 new housing units, with an additional 6,500 units on the way. Mayor Ramos Herbert spoke to Bloomberg about how the city is using public-private partnerships and more to make it all happen.
We worked with the community here. What do you want to see in New Rochelle? And through our public-private partnership, we've enhanced plazas, we've brought murals, we've increased EV charging stations, we've bought a Black Box Theater right to our main street, we're opening parklets. And so really working together, providing assurances to developers, everybody essentially wins. Never mind that rents are actually holding steady and actually decrease the median rent.
Mayor Ramos Herbert is the first woman and first person of color to become mayor of New Rochelle. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Want consistent color for every job? Milo's Pro Rewards members get a 20% paint discount on future purchases after paint annual qualifying spend reaches $3,000. Plus, order eligible in-stock paint and paint supplies by 2 p.m. for free same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Improving is easy at Lowe's. Excludes spray paint and mist tints. More exclusions, terms, and conditions apply. Subject to change. Details at Lowes.com/terms. Same-day delivery valid in select zip codes. Subject to driver availability. Details at Lowes.com/same-day delivery.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Good morning. Wake up.
The Good Morning Show.
Good morning.
On WBOK.
Good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show right here on WBOK. 12:30 a.m. I'm Will Sutton, and Mason Harrison is here with me. We had a bit of a weather conversation and our news take on St. Patty's Day and being Black Irish. And what's the name of that book again?
How the Irish became white.
Yeah, which of course there were a number of Europeans, I'll say, identified otherwise and became white.
Right, including the Armenians who in the early 1900s, right, when they first arrived in the United States, were not considered white, but they lobbied very hard to be included as such, because what immigrants understand upon arrival here is that you must do two things. You must assimilate into whiteness if you can, and you can either do so phenotypically or ideologically. And then in so doing, you must separate yourselves from us.
Yes. And so there are...
Harry Lee learned that example very well.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yep. A lot of folks have done that. And so it's almost like they don't identify otherwise except at home in the kitchen.
This is true. And we know that a lot of Latinos are also taking up this mantle as well. So this is a very interesting conversation and one for another day. But yeah, there are those who can matriculate through the social construct as whiteness, and there are those who cannot. And even for those who are phenotypically unable to do so, they tend to do so ideologically, including some of us, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're in there.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
especially out in New Orleans, we have some folks who have passed and some who just have crossed over.
Yeah, phenotypically and ideologically. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So there is a lot of things going on in and around the city. Just a reminder that we're going to be talking to New Orleans Police Chief Ann Kirkpatrick in a bit. So stay tuned for that. You've got some questions for Chief Ann. Certainly, get lined up. Not yet, but she'll be available to share some things with us first, and then hopefully we have time for some calls as well. But wanted to deliver some of the news from today. There is a 23-year-old who was dead and another wounded. Excuse me. And a man was jailed Monday in connection with this New Orleans East shooting. That's Armando McDonald, 20, jailed on second-degree murder, and he was arrested without incident, and police didn't have much more information about that. He was accused of opening fire on March 11th on Chef Mentor, and that's where police found the dead man and another victim wounded. They rushed them to the hospital, and the one guy died. So they're looking for more information about that situation, and hopefully you can help one way or another. Of course, Crime Stoppers is a good way always to reach out, and you can call the New Orleans Police Department as well. A Harvey man was arrested in connection with a Marrow shooting that left one injured, according to Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office. This was a shooting that happened. Let's see, what's it say here? The guy was booked Thursday, Damon Poole, but they now he's been charged with first-degree murder because he's a convicted felon. He had a firearm, and he was resisting authorities, resisting police. So that has developed. That happened on that scene about 4:30 a.m. that morning. The victim, a 39-year-old man, had been shot multiple times and was taken to the hospital and has been listed in stable condition. So multiple times shot, but not as serious, it seems, since he was listed in stable condition. We also have a couple of Algiers brothers pleaded guilty in a bus stop killing after the older sibling ordered a revenge shooting. So this was 2 years ago in Gretna, and just recently they have admitted to what happened. Junior Antoine, 20, and his brother Morel Antoine, 21, pled guilty recently in the death of 47-year-old Ronald McClure of Avondale. Junior Antoine, who was 17 at that time, had been charged with second-degree murder as an adult alongside his brother. So there's that development that you all might remember, because at the time that was a pretty big news story with how that happened. So there's that as well. Meanwhile, we've got news developments over in Iran. Pretty breaking news, pretty much breaking news this morning. Israel's defense minister says that Iran's security chief ally Larijani, has been killed. And the Israeli army also said it killed a Bashir force commander, whose last name looks like Soleimani, in an attack overnight. Iran hasn't made any comments about the claims yet. They usually don't that quickly after they do their own due diligence, and then they'll likely have something to say today or tomorrow when they decide they have something more to say than that these folks have been killed. They usually will say something about what their next moves will be or to watch out.
There have also been reports that the home of Benjamin Netanyahu has been struck by Iranian missiles. There are reports that his brother is either injured or deceased. Itamar Ben Gvir, who is in charge of national security in the state of Israel, has also been wounded, although the reports indicate that he has been injured in a car accident. However, the Iranians state that it is because they attacked his home. Netanyahu has not been seen live in several days, so it is speculated as to what is the status of his care. Has he been injured in that strike? There have been videos that have been put out by the Israeli government, but many suggest that those videos are actually dated or actually produced through artificial intelligence. So it remains to be seen the status of Israeli officials as well.
Yeah, so just a few days ago, President Donald J. Trump said, we've won. Well, clearly, that's not true. And this is an ongoing war. They said they've decapitated Iran's military capability. That's clearly not true. There's video that is not dated where Iran is attacking others and going after specific targets, just as we did. We did go after specific targets. And so this is ongoing, and there are billions of dollars being spent.
Yeah, so the war thus far has cost somewhere north of $11 billion. A war that was unprovoked is an illegal act of aggression. The Iranians were attacked for the second time inside of a year while they were in the midst of negotiations. The plan that the Iranians were prepared to put forth via the Omani government, which was mediating the talks, would have satisfied most, if not all, of the requirements when it comes to nuclear enrichment that the United States and the West wanted. And yet this act of aggression was still perpetrated upon Iran, starting with the massacre of over 160 schoolgirls. So billions of dollars have been spent and billions of dollars have been lost in terms of equipment. Iran has effectively blinded the United States and its allies in the region by destroying many radar systems. All of the bases that the United States has in the region have been struck. Troops are being pulled out. CIA officials have been pulled out. Iran is even striking the hotels in which troops are being housed, which begs the question, are they not using civilians as civilian shields? If you're housing military personnel and CIA personnel inside of hotels in Dubai and Qatar and Oman, oil facilities throughout the region have been struck by Iran. And yesterday there were reports that the new Ayatollah, or the new supreme leader of Iran, has been airlifted to Moscow to receive medical treatment because it's reported that he too was injured in the strike that killed his father. So there's an incredible amount of violence, none of which was necessary.
Well, day by day, we're getting deeper and deeper into this thing, and this does not seem to be something that we're going to be getting out of anytime soon. And if we do get out of it, there's already lots of destruction. And let's just say with the billions that we have paid to do the damage that we've done, we're going to keep paying for this for quite some time.
I mean, you say we, but this is run by the powers that be and have very little to do with us. And we should be separating ourselves from the empire. And we should be separating ourselves from the special interests whose war this is. This has nothing to do with us. Iranians are not our enemy.
You don't think we've paid into what?
No, not we.
No
them.
taxes?
Them.
No taxes?
What does it matter? That money doesn't belong to us anyway. Taxes
so
are...
I earn this money?
No.
I pay these taxes?
In your face is on there where? This money is produced by the federal government and it is taxed so that it can be returned to the federal government. This has nothing to do with us, and we should be de-dollarizing the way that many other countries around the world are beginning the process of de-dollarizing. The empire has nothing to do with us, and we should want no piece of this illicit operation that is the corporation known as the United States of America.
All right. Mr. Harrison, on your take on Iran and the we and who they are, not we. All right. It's 7:26 a.m. We're going to take a break right here at WBOK. Hey, what do y'all have to say? You want to go be down with it? What you say? De-dollarizing?
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to? You down for that? Or what's your take on Iran? Is it your war, our war? Paying for something at the pumps. So just to use one example, and there's lots more attached to that. Mason, what is the call-in number, the talk line, if anybody wants to connect? And you can connect if you got something else. It's okay. This is what we're talking about right now. But if you got something else, we want to hear from you.
Well, you've heard my thoughts and you've heard Will's thoughts, but we'd like to hear yours at 504-582-9422. That's 504-582-9422.
This is WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
What a temperature difference for us. Another cold start is up ahead, but not as windy. For the afternoon, we'll see highs 55 to 57, mostly sunny skies. And then for tonight, looking at lows 32 to 45, so still light frost is expected on the North Shore. And then as we get to highs for your Wednesday, 64 to 66. And then as we head throughout the rest of the week, gradually back into the 70s and eventually the 80s for the weekend. For the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Richard.
Attention, WBOK listeners. Are you a fan of the station and want to show your support and style? Well, we've got some exciting news for you. Introducing the official WBOK merchandise, the perfect way to wear your love for the station. Whether you're a longtime listener or a new fan, we've got something for everyone. Head to WBOK1230.com now and grab your WBOK gear before it's gone. When you buy WBOK merch, you're not just getting quality items, you're supporting the station you love.
Tired of the impersonal, one-size-fit-all style of banking? You deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank Standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for businesses and families because we go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business, good for life. Stop by any New Orleans area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Greetings and salutations. I am Edward B. Coulon Smith, chairman of the board of the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. We'd like to invite you to tune in every Wednesday at 12 noon on WBOK to listen in on Black to Business and be a part of the movement that's going on. Thank you.
This is Andronica Morris, host of Put Housing First. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock where we will discuss how housing affects every aspect of our lives and what's necessary, what's needed to guarantee housing for all. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock as we dig down deep onto the issues that affect all of us.
Good morning, wake up.
The Good Morning Show.
Good morning.
On WBOK.
morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. I'm Will Sutton. I'm saddled up here with Mason Harrison. He got fired up a little bit.
Look, as long as you're saddled up and not saddled with.
Ah! I hear you.
So.
Mrs. Sutton might have something to say about that.
Indeed.
All righty. Well, we are back on the Good Morning Show. It is 7:31 a.m. If you need to be somewhere at 7:30, of course, you're late. But you know, would you like to get there anyway?
That's right.
So make sure you pack up your backpack, your knapsack, your pocketbook, your extra bag, and your extra bag. Sometimes I find myself carrying like 3 bags. You know? It's a lot. Might as well have luggage. You know, whatever else you need, your keys, your wallet, cell phone, for those of us who need to look in the mirror and check on the teeth. Take a look. See what you got that. And make sure you are ready to go.
I used to be a backpack man. Everywhere I went.
Yeah?
I had a backpack.
Yeah.
But I have long since dispensed with that. Now, I see you still carry one, and I assume that's because of your laptop and things of this nature.
Yeah, that's basically my work away from work.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So
why not get a proper, like, you know.
an attaché?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Well,
and I'm sure with all the conferences you go to, they must give them away for free. You must have tons at home.
Well, the different types of bags, and you know, from a number of conferences, they include backpacks.
Oh, okay.
You know, and different types of satchels, but attaché, not so much.
I used to have a really fancy one.
I did have that where you place it on top of the table and desk, and slide the little doohickeys to the side, and pops open, and there are your things organized, or not, but
but no more.
No, it's been a while.
Okay,
that was in my starched collared shirt tie Montblanc Plain days.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I was there.
And you dispensed with all of that.
I did.
Okay.
And my
wingtips. All right. Yeah.
So it looked much better. I don't know if carrying the attaché briefcase with the cap and the sneaks is the same.
Okay, I see.
I mean, what do you think?
Okay, so I see. So you've redone your entire look. All right, and so the backpack is complementary to your sartorial choices of today.
Well, that's right. And so, as my dad and others would say, dress like the job that you want.
Okay, so what job do you want now?
I'm here. I got it. You know, I mean, I'm not trying to climb anybody's ladder.
Okay. All right.
So if somebody's okay with me and their ladder leads up and they want me to be a part of that, this is what you got.
Okay.
You know, so I'm not going back to the. I think I have a pair of wingtips around somewhere.
Still,
okay. But
but they've long since been in retirement.
Yes, they have. Okay. Certainly, the collection has.
Okay.
Gone away, but this is it.
All right. Fair enough.
So at our Black Talk radio station, WBOK, Times-Picayune, anybody else that wants me, this is kind of it. Now, doesn't mean I don't put on a coat and tie. Or
I've seen you. Yeah.
You know, I'll do that.
For the Francis Memorial, you wore that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Definitely. I can dress up. I might not be the classiest dresser. So it's not like I visit Rubenstein Brothers or someplace else for 2-3 times a year to make sure I'm
You aren't ordering suits from Seville Row.
No. No. I love to look at them. Love to touch them. But nope, that's not where my money's going.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. So hence backpacks plural.
Okay.
Actually, I just switched out from a previous backpack, which came from a conference, to this one, which came from a store.
Okay.
You know, so I have been known to switch up now and then. So, hey, Mason, did you see from the weekend? There was more St. Patty's Day stuff, of course. Today's St. Patty's Day, but there was lots of people doing green and green-related stuff on the weekend. Well, one of the things that happened at a parade over in Jefferson Parish was the St. Patrick's Day Parade.
Yes, I did see this.
I saw some coverage. I did not go. Didn't get stuck in the traffic or anything like that. Well, the St. Patrick Parade Committee decided they needed to say something because at that parade there were people who were throwing up Nazi salutes, and not just one person, and not just one time. So it was very noticeable to quite a number of people in the crowd, and that included non-black people over there in Jefferson Parish, and they didn't like it. And they didn't like it. They had lots to say about that, and so the St. Patrick Parade Committee of Jefferson has issued a public apology, saying that it is not fitting as a part of their morals and their values. Shouldn't have been done, and so the young men who were identified as doing this have been banned for life.
So let's follow up on what we talked about at the start of the show about how the Irish became white. So the Irish have a long history of fighting against tyranny, namely English tyranny. So the English invade Ireland, conquer Ireland, and for 600, 700, 800 years subject the Irish to all manner of abuses. It has been said that they were the original Ends, the Irish. And so there are those people who you can find online who say that I'm Irish, I'm not white. Because what they recognize is that white as a social construct never included them to begin with, right? And it is Irish immigrants who have immigrated to the United States who have matriculated into the social construct of whiteness. So I should say that, just because one is Irish does not mean that one identifies with this particular social construct. By and large, though, they have assimilated. But for some, they understand the history of whiteness, how it has been applied, and how it has led to many, many, many years of abuse against Irish people. These folks who allegedly have engaged in, what was deemed to be, a fascist or a Nazi salute, this is obviously a lesson that they have not learned, because they would not have been included, right, in the social construct that we now know that relates to people who consider themselves to be white, who call themselves white. Yeah. So it really depends upon, what your level of political education is. And for those people who are Irish, who have a history of fighting against apartheid, fighting against fascism on the European continent, and also in support of civil rights here in the United States, they have an understanding of what this construct is and how it does violence to all people, including people who consider themselves to be white. But these gentlemen obviously failed to learn that lesson.
Yep. Well, the Parents Code apparently prohibits writers from displaying behavior that is, quote, shocking or offensive to the general public.
Okay.
And so I'm glad to see that this is being handled. And I hate that it happened. I am pleased that there's quick reaction from government leaders, including the Jefferson Parish president, Cindy Lee Shang, others on council, and the committee statement. So that, I mentioned that they issued a public apology. I'm going to read that. The St. Patrick Parade Committee of Jefferson would like to publicly apologize for this incident, as we view these actions as unacceptable and contrary to our goals of staging a family-friendly event that may be enjoyed by all members of our community. So, but that doesn't mean it's just going by. These young people have been banned from this parade for life, and the parade organization will be fined. So I think that's good. Now, it doesn't take away that it happened, but I think it does show other people, young, old, or whatever, that this is not acceptable, and this too could happen to you.
Yeah, something like this happens every year.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the solutions are, or even if they're necessary, or if this is just indicative of what this is, right? So was it last year, the year before, people threw beads from a carnival float with the Confederate flag attached? I mean, there's always something. And then this year There are the dolls that are hanging from the float, the black dolls hanging at the end of Mardi Gras beads. There's always something.
Yep, absolutely,
Right?
absolutely. Yep. Well, WWL Louisiana has an interesting report because they're reporting that the Frederick Douglass High School and John F. Kennedy High School, both with rich histories here, may be merging.
Mm.
They could be merging.
And is that due to low enrollment?
Well, it's actually not an official report. So this is based on what parents and students have been hearing and seeing. And KIPP New Orleans, which operates those schools, has not confirmed the merger. But what the KIPP organization has said is, quote, New Orleans is entering a new chapter in public education, and thriving schools will require scale, stability, and long-term vision. At KIPP New Orleans, our focus is on building schools that will serve students and families across the city for generations to come, close quote.
Okay.
So, they did not say it will not be merging. They did not say it will be closed. They say, essentially, we have a responsibility to be responsible with the operation of these schools. So it seems like something is coming up, and that could be a merger, that could be a closing. We really don't know. Frederick Douglass has had an A rating as those things go, and Kennedy has had a C rating. So I'm not sure it's based on quality, but I think your suspicion is probably right because we have a declining student population.
Indeed, we do.
Not just here, across this state,
Mm-hmm.
and and it's something for K through 12 educators to pay attention to, and it's certainly something for higher education leaders to pay attention to. If you see the birth rates declining, and we're not having the type of migration into the state of people with kids, how can you say we need the same budget and we're serving 3/4 of the children or half of the children? And that was an issue with Leah Chase. I'm glad it survived for now, but part of it was how many children attending the school. So Frederick Douglass folks, John F. Kennedy alums, what do you think? Should it be Douglass Kennedy? I'm going to put it out there. Kennedy Douglass?
Yeah.
Or just adapt one of those names? Create a new name? Ooh, Lordy.
Yeah, I think if I had to choose between the two, I would choose Douglass over Kennedy. But
yeah,
I realize that some folks, certainly would be attached to the name of their former high school. But yeah, one is a fighter for freedom, the other is not.
Yeah, I get it. Yep. Do you think he would be a fighter for the freedom in 2026? That was the 60s.
Are you referring to Kennedy? Well, no. I mean, because of his class distinction, and obviously because of his desire to matriculate to the heights of empire. So, no. I mean, no presidents are good presidents. So, no.
Ooh.
We shouldn't be naming our schools after presidents.
Barack Obama?
No. Anyone who
now
leads
we get somewhere.
Anyone who leads the illicit corporation that is the United States engages in death and destruction around the world and engages in imperialism. There is no such thing as a good president.
Okay, I'm getting your point. I'm getting your point because at least in recent history and what I remember from history books, there really hasn't been a presidential term where some of those things hasn't happened in one way or another.
Every president is a war criminal.
Yeah, I mean, it's happened in one thing or another, one way or another. Well, we got a caller, and I thought if that didn't get anybody riled up and thinking, it's a man who thinks about these things each and every day. So good morning, Reverend Calhoun. You're on with Will Sutton and Mason Harrison.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
So, so we're gonna either close them or consolidate them, right?
These are that's the street committee, but more specifically from parents and students who are part of these schools. So there's been no official KIPP New Orleans announcement, but there's enough talk that parents and committee and students are and alums are talking about what might be happening, and KIPP didn't deny it. They just said they had a obligation for operating at scale, stability, and long-term vision.
So what is the end game? We do understand that we don't have the population anymore. We've closed 2 high schools, right? In our communities. All right. King and school out in New Orleans East.
Yep.
Where and at what point is this district going to be right sized to accommodate the seats? Because we know we have more seats than students. What is the end game? Where are we actually going with this? What then becomes of those buildings that becomes property to, I guess, create housing or whatever they do with the buildings? So my question comes down, where are we? What is the real state of our school population? What is the real plan? Is it going to be left up to the charter management groups as to determine who then will get buildings, who will get schools or have children in those buildings? The impact of this on the community as a whole, what does it really look like? And, Will, I'm just asking questions. I mean, I don't have all these answers, so I'm just asking, trying to find out exactly what then is going on and when will we be apprised of what's happening.
Well,
I think anything?
Yeah, I think we're being apprised now. I think we're watching this in real time. I think
the decision has already been made.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So
this is just the theatrics.
I think it's Reverend Calhoun. I don't think it's a matter of whether we're going to keep these schools open. I think it's a matter of which schools and why, which programs and why. I think it's a matter of geographic location and where the student populations are based. And I think the answer to your end game question is that they being the New Orleans school district leaders and school board, as well as the charter management organizations, have to look at this longer term and figure out what our student population might be in 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, 15 years. So take the building that you're very familiar with, King. Wonderful building, now gone. Wonderful, wonderful building. And so what are we doing with that?
So what happens to these buildings that's left abandoned in our neighborhoods and community?
Right.
Because it's only a matter of time before they become burglarized. If you want to know my honest opinion, I think that if we don't get people in those buildings will be destroyed. So Reed, King, I'm more than sure they're going to migrate from Douglas over to John F. Kennedy. Being Douglas is the older building. So when does community get involved with what's happening with the buildings, with what's the educational system of our community? I'm just asking a question, that's all.
Well, we need more people like you who care about these things. And one of the things that bothers me with situations like this is we have too many people who say, it's not my issue, I don't have kids in school. Right. And I think it's all of our issue. I think it's all of our issue. You don't have to have kids in school to want good education for kids, quality education, good operating infrastructure, and to have a good, firm foundation for them to grow into good young human beings and to become contributing adults. Because all we have to do is go over to New Orleans jail and ask, what's the last grade you attended?
Yeah, but that's not why our people are incarcerated. And I think more importantly than right-sizing the district is right-sizing the curricula. It doesn't matter the size of the district if our children continue to be miseducated. And public education is a system that is designed to create more workers for the state, designed to create more people who are obedient to the system of racial capitalism under which we suffer and die. So it doesn't really matter how large the system is, what we do with the buildings. If the curriculum is not one that is designed by us and for us, and it is not, then it really doesn't matter.
So you don't think that we can have, to use Reverend Calhoun's phrase for the moment, right sizing of all of these things that is just structural and not fundamental? You don't think we are continuing to work on the fundamentals of the schooling that we're providing?
The fundamentals are broken. What we need more of are independent African-centered black schools. And that's the direction that we should be moving in.
So how do we fund those? Because given the fact that
we fund them,
controls,
we fund them the same way we fund the institutions in our community that we choose to fund, like churches. And that money should be redirected into educating our people, providing a liberatory education, not one that keeps us under the system that we currently suffer and die under.
Well, again, the legislature are now trying to put more money into private institutions. So if those monies keep going into those type of institutions, what then happens?
We should not be desirous of state funds to fund our education. Malcolm told us that anyone who desires to have his oppressor educate his children is a fool. And this is what we do every day of the week. We send our children into institutions that miseducate them. And this should not be our desire. We should be building parallel institutions of education, education that is designed to liberate us socially and politically.
So, Reverend Calhoun, it
sir.
is Reverend Calhoun. If
sir.
I'm not mistaken, Mason, you were saying that the one path is to redirect the church support
That's
to
one
black
path.
schooling and to move away from the
miseducation of the Negro.
The state tent to survive.
Of course.
What do you think?
Black
Reverend
people
Calhoun?
are enemies of the state. So why then should we expect the state to subsidize our freedom? Of course they wouldn't do this.
But our churches have meant so much.
Go ahead.
Our churches have meant so much. Do we need to?
Education for us was in the church. However, though, we do pay money for education. There's money that comes out of our pockets that goes back to state government for the education or to pay for education. Now, again, our system says that those monies we should have a voice in them, in that money through the electoral process. The reality of that is that those folks are taking these monies and using it as they see fit. And if you understand what's happening, and to me, in this system has now become so profit bound or so about making money that education, to me, has been taken completely out of the process.
Well, if you can convince...
They're more about making a dollar than about educating a child.
If you can convince the state to subsidize, if you can convince the state to subsidize liberatory education, then by all means. But when it comes to tax dollars, this goes back to my point earlier about de-dollarization and how we should be building and creating our own systems of currency.
So you're saying then we need to pull out of paying the taxes for our educational taxes and put those monies where we have control?
We're not able to pull out of the system of taxation. Taxation is compulsory. What I am saying is the dollars that we do spend, the discretionary dollars that we do spend, should be redirected in part to liberatory education, absolutely. And one of those vehicles would be religious institutions, yes, absolutely.
Okay. Well, given that the technology and all of that has come forward to way where we are now, I know that education is not going to be as it was when I went to school. And even then, we didn't get what we had then was teachers that taught. The whole system was designed for us to go a step further. Education was one of the tools that brought us to the next level.
The whole system was designed to keep us docile and not to liberate our minds. And I would recommend another book, The White Architects of Black Education. So if you're attending schools that are named after white people, if you're attending schools where the curricula is not designed to free you, then you're being miseducated.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, Mason. I'm just trying to figure out how then do we move into that process economically. You're just saying that, okay, we all come together and put some money together and do it, right?
That's part of the work. So that's part of the reason. So every endeavor under the system has to have a business plan, unfortunately. And so a lot of times we talk about buying black and how this is so important. But if I go to a black institution or a black business and I patronize that business, that's good for that business owner. So he or she is able to pay his or her bills, pay his or her employees, and put his or her children through school. And then when that person retires or that business closes, well, then all that wealth dissipates and goes with that person. But if we said, listen, I have a business, Will has a business, you have a business, and we simply say, you know what, 2% of all revenue or 2% of all profit from this consortium or this collective goes into a venture capital fund. Now buying black actually makes sense, and it's not just subsidizing one person's business endeavor. There are many, many ways about which we can go about this process, and one of those is building an independent currency system off of the dollar. That is absolutely essential and critical for our liberation.
Okay.
All right.
Well, gentlemen, the only thing I can say is I think we're going to see more and more closing and consolidations coming.
Yeah, well.
We haven't hit the elementary level yet. It looks like it's staying toward the high school level. But I do believe elementary is going to be the next in terms of schools closing or consolidating within our neighborhoods and community.
I think you're absolutely right.
Gentlemen, have a great day.
All right. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Lord's blessings, sir. Have a great day. All right. Thank you for calling, Reverend Calhoun. So with, pre-Katrina, we had more than 65,000 students here. And these days, it's more like 40 to 45,000. That's a big change. And then that number each year is declining. One of the good things at the time, post-Katrina, was we're going to help this city survive, and we're building new schools as a part of that. So we've built these buildings, but the fit wasn't anticipated. So we've spent all this money. Some of that money, whether we like it or not, from the state, could have gone to what you're talking about. Could have, but it's not. The building's there. Can we hand over some of these buildings to a more black-focused education? We're still a majority black city. What do you think, Mason?
Not just black, right? But I specifically mean a Pan-Africanist black nationalist education,
yeah.
right? So specifically, right? I mean, there's many types of black education.
Sure.
But the point I'm trying to make is that what our children receive in school is white education in blackface. And that needs to change.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. Well, we got a break right here. And take a note to before we continue with the next hour of the Good Morning Show right here on WBOK. What a lively conversation with Reverend Calhoun. Appreciated your insights. I don't agree with all of it, but that's okay. That's what we like to do here.
We can have unity without uniformity.
Absolutely, I agree with that. So We're going to take a break right now, and when we come back, we got more of the Good Morning Show. We expect to hear from the chief when we come back. Mason, what's that talk line number?
Give us a call at 504-582-9422. What do you think about the state of education in New Orleans? 504-582-9422. And up next, New Orleans Police Chief Ann Kirkpatrick on the Good Morning Show.
Right. WBOK, 12:30 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Real issues, real talk, real solutions. Miss an episode of The Reality Check? You can catch every episode anytime. Search WBOK Media on your favorite podcast app to tap the bold commentary, real-time reactions, and powerful perspectives from the people and leaders shaping our city. Download, share, and rate it 5 stars because the real ones always stay informed.
This is The Law in Your Legacy. I'm attorney Pete Hamilton.
I'm attorney Ryan Hamilton. Comparing the cost of will, successions, and trusts.
A will might only be a few $100s, but your family could end up paying more in legal fees.
Trust costs more upfront, but saves time, stress, and potentially thousands.
Think of it as paying a little now to avoid a big bill later. Smart planning means big savings for your family. This is not legal advice. That's just a tip brought to you by Liberty Bank and Trust. For more information, go to libertybank.net or contact us at 504-915-5016.
A careless driver can change your life in an instant. Do you know what to do or who to call? If you've been injured in a motor vehicle accident and do not have an attorney, call Auto Accident Help Desk for a free consultation. We can answer all of your questions and estimate the potential value of your case. Call Auto Accident Help Desk and connect with an expert personal injury attorney.
Call 800-269-4524. 800-269-4524.
Don't worry how to handle your medical bills, lost wages, and pain. We will get you the money you deserve.
They got me way more than the insurance company offered.
The consultation is free, and you do not pay any legal fees unless we win or settle your case. Make the smart call. If you've been injured in an auto accident, call Auto Accident Help Desk for a free legal consultation.
Call 800-269-4524. 800-269-4524. 800-269-4524.
WBOK New Orleans, home of the Good Morning Show, 7 to 9 a.m. weekdays.
Here's what's trending this hour. President Trump has tapped Vice President J.D. Vance to lead a new federal task force targeting benefits fraud. The move follows a major social services scam uncovered in Minnesota that led to dozens of indictments. At the Oval Office Monday, Trump said fraud occurs in both red and blue states, but claimed it's more prevalent in Democrat-led states, again criticizing the Somali community in Minneapolis and Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. I'm Bree Wood with What's Trending.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show.
Good morning.
On WBOK.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. I am Will Sutton, and with me is Mason Harris.
Yes.
Lively conversation about schools and future schools, and whether it includes state dollars to support the education we need and deserve for the miseducation of the Negro.
That's right. That's right.
So, that's essentially, is that a fair summary?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
That's a fair summary.
All right. Well, good. We are going to go into conversation with New Orleans Chief of Police, Ann Kirkpatrick, in a moment. Looks like we've got callers on the line. I don't know if that's related to the previous topics or Chief Ann's visit, so we'll make sure about that because Chief Ann is here live and in studio, and we're going to jump into conversation with Chief Ann right now. Good morning, Chief. How are you?
Well, I'm great. Thanks for having me this morning.
Well, happy that you're here. And as always, the New Orleans Police Department has been a bit busy. Now, you haven't been here since the end of carnival season. How did it go?
Oh, we had a fantastic carnival. Everybody seemed to have fun. We got excellent feedback. Overall, extremely safe, particularly on the parade route. We had a few, as we know, kind of publicized events involving riders, but not regarding, the police department. And so we were very happy with the outcome. And I think we're going to continue to have some wonderful special events. We've got St. Patrick's Day coming up. We got St. Joseph's Day. We just had Super Sunday. All of it's gone very well so far.
Yeah. I was out at Super Sunday on Monday. That was a good time, as it usually is. And I thought it was remarkable how, something that's loosely organized, basically. It's not like it starts at this time.
Yeah.
People gathering all their stuff in the parking lot over here, and kind of coming out. And people were just having a good time.
That's a part of the culture, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so,
people were just having a good time.
Our role is just to kind of be guardian angels, let people have a great time. And I think we hit a very nice balance between community engagement, saying hi to folks. I was out there. I enjoyed it. But it is a part of the culture. Yeah. And people just kind of know what to do.
Yeah, I was over at off of Washington and Claiborne.
Yeah.
And so some of your motorcycle police were right outside the Taco Bell. I'm sure you know where I'm talking about. So there was a line of them over there. And they're sitting there and standing there and watching. And I was like, yeah, this is what I want them to do. I really don't want them chasing people.
No.
I don't want them to have to chase people. I want people to see them and say, maybe I won't do that.
Yeah. Deterrence in many ways. A presence matters. But also they're there to hang out and enjoy everyone, but to be mindful. And they do that very, very well. And I think they also have a good time. I want them to have a good time.
Yep. So, of course, over the weeks and the months, we've had situations with ICE and Border Patrol, Homeland Security. The policies have changed since you were here last. Where do we stand with the New Orleans Police Department cooperating, not cooperating? In what kind of scenario are we assisting or not assisting?
Yeah, so it's real important that people understand the most important thing to take away is we haven't changed at all our position that we do not enforce immigration law. That is the bottom line. That hasn't changed. We have no authority over immigration. So we don't enforce immigration law. We do if there is events in which we make contact with someone who is a wanted person, then we abide by the law. But the most important thing, as I said, is we do not enforce immigration. The law says we don't hinder or interfere. We certainly are going to follow the law. I took an oath of office on that, but that's the important thing. We do not initiate asking people's status. That's not changed. So I know there's a lot out there that thinks that we are in partnership. We support, but we have separate missions, and we don't step on each other's missions.
So the department has agreed not to enter into what are known as 287G agreements with the federal government, which would mean that NOPD officers would be tasked or deputized with immigration enforcement.
Right. We are not doing that. We made it really clear. It's a voluntary program. New Orleans Police Department, as well as the administration, and I think our community does not want us to be taking on a role that we don't have to take on. We've got a lot to do just doing what we're doing.
How then does the department respond to requests if there is a detainer placed on someone by the federal government? Does the department comply with those requests?
We have to comply in the sense of the law telling us, directing us what to do.
Okay.
So that is not to be confused with a partnership like a 287G. We don't do that, nor do we enforce. But
do you know how many requests detainers have been made thus far?
Do you know, it's been interesting you asked that question, because up until very recently, I have been in law enforcement, I think everybody knows, over 40 years.
Yes, ma'am.
I had never seen one.
Really?
And people around our department had never seen one. Now, recently, the federal government has started to populate the database that we all have to look at with some of these detainers. And so, but they're very, very rare.
Okay.
We will see them, but up until today, because immigration just hasn't been our enforcement arena, it's not our area of enforcement or our jurisdiction. But just like we cooperate in the sense with the FBI, the National Guard, the relationship is such that we do not interfere, but there's a huge distinction between that. I don't enforce federal law, and they don't necessarily enforce local.
So do you know how many detainers you have now? Can you speak to that?
Gosh, to my knowledge, there was one
Okay.
that had a New Orleans Police Department officer had come into contact with. The person followed exactly the protocol that we have in place. Now we are requesting, or not requesting, we're requiring that if there is one, and let me back up and tell you that in that one particular case, there was no action taken.
Okay.
There was no action, but there was one that an officer came across. We are running those. That was the one and only event that we are aware of. And then it went up the chain.
Okay.
And there was no action taken.
For what reason?
So that's why we know they're in the system, but none of us had seen one until just about a month or 6 weeks ago.
Why was there no action taken?
Because it is ICE's jurisdiction to take control of the person.
Okay.
And when we contacted them, according to what we were required to do, they did not want to take control of the person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's an example of
That's an example
clarification.
of we will do what we're required to do, but it is their person.
Okay.
And it's really, if I can give you an analogy that
Yes.
people might be able to appreciate. Let's say an officer comes across where they are told through the database that there's an outstanding warrant, let's say in Arkansas or in Nevada. The officer informs the communication. They contact the agency of origin, and in that state, they may not want to extradite. So we would just simply inform that person, you have an outstanding warrant. You
Okay.
need to get that taken care of. It's kind of the same. Not every warrant or detainer would be an actionable one, but we try to inform the person, you have something in the system you need to go check out.
Understood.
Yeah.
So now NOPD is emerging out from under the consent decree.
Yeah.
After many, many years. There are groups, however, grassroots groups that feel that the department still needs oversight, and what they're proposing is a civilian oversight board. I know you have some familiarity with that, given your extensive career in law enforcement. Would that be something that you would be open to currently as NOPD police chief?
Well, we already have civilian oversight.
In what form?
In the Office of Inspector General,
Okay.
as well as in the Office of Independent Police Monitor. So you have two groups already, or two bodies that have an oversight function.
And repeat those for our audience again.
Yeah. The Office of Inspector General
Okay.
has jurisdiction over waste, fraud, things of that nature.
Okay.
Totally independent. They can come in and do any kind of investigation. We have a relationship with them. We are, again, we work for the public.
Okay.
So we're public servants. I have been a part of several systems that have different forms of oversight, but we even currently have the Office of Independent Monitor.
Okay.
They, the independent monitoring team, it's a staff.
Mm-hmm.
They can look at all of our systems. They can look at all of our disciplines. They sit over the discipline boards with us. So we already kind of have it.
All right. And so for you, that would be sufficient, the current system here in New Orleans?
The system we have today is sufficient.
Okay.
But I have been a part, Chicago, I was with Chicago. They've had an oversight system there. I think it's one of the longest in the country. I brought in civilian oversight when I was the chief of police of Spokane.
Okay.
We beefed that oversight up with a similar system to what we have here that I inherited. Oakland had an oversight system, as you know.
Mhm.
There are just different types.
Okay.
We just had the Seattle Police Commission visiting us 2 weeks ago, and they wanted to see how we're doing it. So there are all kinds of systems out there. I've always been a supporter of having independent oversight.
Okay.
Okay. So we've had some crime success
Yeah.
recently.
Yeah.
Of course, there's been a national downturn, but it's always good to be a part of that. And then leading in a number of categories. How are we doing with the homicides?
So this morning, I check our numbers every day because numbers do inform me. And so today we're 32% below where we were last year.
Oh.
And last year we had a lower homicide rate the year before. So we're just kind of building on that. But the summer seasons are always difficult. So although we're only at the third month of this year, we were way ahead like this time last year as well. But summer seasons we prepare because we know that the violence upticks during the very hot months. So we're pleased. We're going to continue to use our strategies. We're building on our strategies this year with a lot of emphasis on upstream reasons why people would choose a path of violence and trying to break that cycle.
How do you do that?
Well, it's services. It's giving people opportunities. What is driving your decision to pick up a gun rather than pick up a dream, right?
Okay.
And so sometimes people don't see that they have a future or a hope. And so maybe they don't have jobs. Maybe they're hungry. Maybe they don't feel that there is an avenue available for them. Many people are creative or really quite bright, but school doesn't interest them.
Mm-hmm.
School's not for everybody. And you could be quite bright. You're in the academics.
Yes. So specifically, under the previous mayor, Mitch Landrieu, there was a pretty robust effort to interdict or intervene in the lives of those who we used to call at risk, right?
Yeah.
And that it would also be these call-ins on a regular basis for people who were most apt to sort of, engage in violent or antisocial behavior.
Right.
Are there any similar efforts that the NOPD is engaging with either on its own or in partnership with other organizations right now?
Yeah. So Ubuntu Village is one of our biggest partners, and they help us with a lot of the organizing of services. I'm going to a meeting this morning, which we all are in the same room. We talk about the violence prevention that includes services. And Ubuntu Village is one of our number one. We do have a community member who is a pastor.
Okay.
Jacques Williams sits in these violence meetings, but it's organized. The goal isn't, for me as a police chief, I know it may sound strange, but it's not about the catching you after you have engaged in a criminal act. I'd much rather see you not engage in a criminal act. To me, the measurement of success is the lack of crime.
Okay.
And that's why I am a part of understanding that let's deal with some of the upstream reasons. There are always, murder is out of the heart. And I cannot always, we as a department or as organizations can't always change a heart. But if there are opportunities to give you a dream rather than a gun, then I'm going to be a player at that table. Ultimately, murder is out of your heart.
What resources?
We got a caller, so I do want to get to a caller. Aaron, good morning. You're on with Will Sutton and Mason Harrison, and of course, Police Chief Kurt Patrick. What's your question?
Morning. How y'all doing?
Yes,
Good morning.
Good morning. Fabulous.
Yeah, you're right. First, shouts out to the Fatherhood Roundtable as well as the Huey Newton Gun Club. Brother Mason, I just want to tell you before I start, don't change for nobody. Continue to be you. Straight up. I know exactly where you're coming from. I know exactly what you mean. Now to Ms. Kirkpatrick, Brother Mason asks you, do you think that the current systems that are in place, do you feel that is sufficient enough? And you said the OIG and the police monitor, you said that was sufficient enough. I don't understand how you can sit up there and say that is sufficient enough when the OIG himself needs to be under investigation for that that thing what he called an investigation when it came to this testing, when it came to the police testing not too long ago. He sided with you instead of siding on the side of right, which is why Officer Cockingham is in the predicament that he's in right now. So my question to you is, how can the community continue to trust NOPD when NOPD constantly keep on doing crimes and covering them up, and then you coming up in front of the community making it seem like everything is okay when we know, when you look at all the leadership when it comes to your staff, none of them look like us. But yeah, you come into our radio station saying everything is good at Cooper State. So what I want to know is, how can the community really trust anything what the NOPD says or does when we see differently?
All right, Aaron, Lord's blessings. Have a great day. We're going to let the chief respond to you.
I'm not sure that I even know what he's referencing when it comes to the OIG investigation. I'm not sure. I know that
this was the police testing. Yeah, the police testing from a couple of years ago. And
sexual assault kits? Is that what we're referring to?
The demotion,
yes,
the promotional system.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So he's referencing that.
Yeah, so we made some significant changes on our most recent test. And so I was with the Black Officers Association membership leadership the other day, and we were talking about it, and they said they didn't receive even one complaint this time, not even one, because we did make some changes. And so to not allow for anyone to potentially even know any questions on that test. And so we just had the outcome of that test a couple of months ago, and we're promoting from it.
And I think the other part of what Aaron was saying, and Aaron, I hope I have this right, is that you and others in the community don't really trust the OIG when it comes to the police department. So I think his question is, how can we trust what you and the police department are saying if you're saying OIG is a part of holding you accountable, but we don't trust them?
Well, that's the OIG doesn't work for me,
right?
And the OIG doesn't work for the city. So if people don't like the OIG's system, who he is, his staff, or whatever, that complaint is to be taken to the ethics board. It is the ethics board.
The state ethics board.
No, your local New Orleans ethics board is who hires and fires staff associated with the OIG. So that's why we speak in terms of the independence. So OIG and the Office of Independent Monitoring is also, their accountability team is the ethics board.
Okay.
They're not the city of New Orleans, not the mayor, not the police department. So if they call it and align with me on something, fine. But there are many times they don't align with me. So either way, that's why they're independent and should be. And I'm independent. And I'm not going to make decisions to tickle anyone's itching ears, to use a biblical term.
You got a few more minutes to stay with us?
Sure.
Okay, great, because we got to take a break.
Okay.
And when we come back, we got callers. And I want to find out where we are with recruiting. Okay? So let's, okay. We are going to take a break right now. This is Will Sutton and Mason Harrison. We're in conversation with New Orleans Police Chief Ann Kirkpatrick. Happy to have you here again, answering the questions. And not just the questions from us, but from our WBOK family of listeners. Folks, it's 8:25 a.m. You got to be somewhere at 8:30 a.m. You got 5 minutes. Hope you're close, or maybe you're already at the desk. Go ahead and fire it up, that laptop, or whatever you need to do. If you need to clock in, make sure you clock in early or on time. And for those of you still home, please, 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 the school speed limits are 20 miles per hour. Not 23 miles per hour, not 29, and certainly not 41. So we want you to get safe to where you're going safely and help our kiddos and our babies to get where they need to do their jobs, to get that education and become good, fine, upstanding citizens in our community. Mason, what is that talk line?
Give us a call at 504-582-9422. That's 504-582-9422.
This is WBOK, 12:30 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about
all day long.
Trying to grow your business or increase traffic to your location? We can help. WBOK 1230 AM has a number of solutions that will meet your individual needs. Give one of our consultants a call today at 504-582-9420 or email us at info@wbok1230.com. And remember, an investment with WBOK is an investment in our community. Call today.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
What a temperature difference for us. Another cold start is up ahead, but not as windy. For the afternoon, we'll see highs 55 to 57, mostly sunny skies. And then for tonight, looking at lows 32 to 45, so still light frost is expected on the North Shore. And then as we get to highs for your Wednesday, 64 to 66. And then as we head throughout the rest of the week, gradually back into the 70s and eventually the 80s for the weekend. For the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Richard.
Good morning. This is Will Sutton and Mason Harrison. We're in conversation with Chief Ann Kirkpatrick. We're only going to be able to take a call, maybe two, but that's about it, unfortunately. So good morning, Tamika. You're on with Will Sutton, Mason Harrison, and Chief Ann. We only have time for a short question, so make it quick.
Okay. Good morning, Will. Good morning, Mason. Good morning, Chief Kirkpatrick. I do have just a quick question. I had a question in regards to the 7th District. Currently, there's just one police station that's on Reed Boulevard, and I know it covers, I believe, the entire New Orleans East, which is a very big, broad area. Are there any plans to put any substations or another police station in the New Orleans East area? That's my question. I'll hang up, and I just want to say thank you, Chief Kirkpatrick. My mother lives in the Gentilly area, and she is starting to see a major difference in, how the police are monitoring the area, because Gentilly is a historic, beautiful area, just as New Orleans East, and I just, she's happy with what's going on, and I just want to know, are there any plans to put more service in New Orleans East area?
All right. Lord's blessing, Tamika. Let's hear from the chief.
Hey, Tamika, thank you. You're not a plant, I promise, for the listening audience, but the answer is yes. And so you all know that there's a new Rouse's that has opened out in the 7th District. Pardon me. And Donnie Rouse very nicely approached me and asked, would we be interested in having a substation in their grocery store? It's what I would call a cop shop. And we are in the process right now in partnership with Rouse's to put in a substation in that grocery store, which I think is a great place to have a cop shop. And so you'll hear more about that as we progress. But the opening was just a few weeks ago, as far as the store. So we'll get our cop shop put in there fairly as quickly as possible.
All right. Thank you. All right. Good morning, Tony. You're on with Will Sutton, Mason Harrison, and Chief Kirkpatrick. Make it real quick, Tony.
Hi, yes. I just wanted to ask the chief what she will do to make sure that we get equal outcomes in cases where people are making complaints against police officers. I have one case in mind in particular. This woman, Shantae Scott, has been holding protests frequently about Officer Victor Gant Jr., about the role he played in breaking misconduct when he personally intervened in an investigation of his son's killing of Jason Lee Scott. But I've not heard any comments from the superintendent. So how can we make sure that she's giving the community equal outcomes when complaints are brought to the PIB but aren't responded to?
Okay, Tony, Lord's blessings. Have a great day. We'll hear from the chief.
Sure. So that event, of course, happened before I came to New Orleans. And so it has been adjudicated and it has been dealt with. And so I understand that not everybody's going to appreciate the outcomes, but that is our system. And so in our system, fairness is not always equal. And so the goal is to be fair and to be sure that we equally apply the principles. And when you equally apply the principles, then sometimes there will be a different outcome. And so I can't speak to that particular event because it's adjudicated and completed. And those who don't like the outcome, I'm not the person that can help you with changing that outcome.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Chief Ann, for coming in and being with us. I'm going to ask you to say in 10 seconds how we're doing recruiting.
Hey, y'all, we're recruiting. We're also starting to recruit part-time police officers.
Oh!
So if you've ever been a police officer and you hold a post certification in the state of Louisiana, or you're from out of state and you hold a post certification out of state, please come look at us if you want to get back into policing, but you don't want to work full time.
Hey,
we'll
sounds
take
like
you.
a good opportunity.
We'll look at you.
All right.
Okay.
Well, we're wrapping it up with Chief Kirkpatrick. She's got to go, and we've got to go. We got to make room for the front porch in a bit, but we got some more time, Mason and I, with you. Thank you to our WBOK family of listeners and watchers on YouTube and Facebook Live. Watch out for the kiddos as you head out on your way. Make sure that they get where they need to be. Mason, what's that talk line number?
Give us a call at 504-582-9422. That's 504-582-9422.
This is WBOK, 12:30 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Late nights are made for chillin', and you can do just that every Sunday night at 10 p.m. as DJ Wick brings you The Love Zone. It's the perfect way to top off your weekend with your favorite old and new school ballads. So sit back, relax, and let DJ Wick take you to the Love Zone on WBOK and on the World Wide Web at WBOK1230.com.
Tired of the impersonal, one-size-fit-all style of banking? You deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank Standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for businesses and families because we go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business, good for life. Stop by any New Orleans area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Well, Saints of God, this is Pastor David Impartan Sr. coming to you over the airways of WBOK, your favorite host of Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. I want to invite you to our show every Saturday from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock p.m. That's Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. I want you to invite your family and friends to a broadcast that's designed to change your life, the way you think, the way you act, and what you eat. We want you to tune in every Saturday at 1 o'clock, WBOK, 12:30 a.m. See you on Saturday.
Good morning, wake up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. I'm Will Sutton, and with me is Mason Harrison.
Yes.
That was quite a conversation with the New Orleans Police Chief. We learned a few things, and in particular, her view of community oversight. Saying essentially that the OIG's oversight, looking at things like fraud and misuse and other problems like that. And then the police monitor, which is separate from the police department. Of course, we know that there are, various types of quote unquote community oversight.
Yes.
And I didn't want to take too much of the chief's time, but correct me if I'm wrong. I think you were thinking of or talking about some of the same things that I've heard in the community, and that is a citizen group.
That is what I was referring
not
to.
Not the police monitor, which they have work to do.
Yes.
And not the OIG, they have work to do, but a citizen board or citizen group of some kind, volunteers who would be willing to make that commitment. Is that right?
That is correct. And so this would enable everyday citizens to hire and fire, certainly fire police officers, right, who are found guilty of misconduct. And so my understanding is that the chief, upon her arrival here in New Orleans, participated in a town hall by some folks who were pushing for this issue. And she, according to what I understand, I was not there at the time, expressed her view that that would not be desirable.
Right.
And so the current system that we have now with the OIG and independent police monitor, from her vantage point, is sufficient to provide oversight of the department. There are those who obviously disagree, and I know that there are very nascent efforts going on in the city right now to create a civilian oversight board, the likes of which we've seen in other cities.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, let's hear from Pop Jones. Pop Jones, you're on the line with Will Sutton and Mason Harrison. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Will and Mason Harris. I'm surprised. I thought I'd be cut off by now.
Hey, we got you.
To ask my question.
That's all right.
Y'all really surprised me.
Well, you're on.
Wow.
Pop. You're on. What
it was a quick question I wanted to ask. What was the status of ISIS in the National Guard in New Orleans? Well, they're still here. That really was my question.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Whether ICE is still here?
ISIS and the National Guard.
Okay.
Was it still operating in the city of New Orleans and the surrounding areas?
So from what has been reported, the major operations of the immigration enforcement effort have wrapped. So Cataloola Crunch was the name of one of the operations.
Right. That's right.
That supposedly has been brought to an end, and I believe there was another operation as well that ran in parallel to Cataloola Crunch. The status of the second operation, I am not certain. That does not mean that there is not immigration enforcement currently, but the largest aspects of those operations are either at their end or near their end. And as far as the National Guard is concerned, there were recent reports that that operation is also supposed to be coming to an end. As to its status as of this morning, I do not know.
Yeah, and the National Guard is different from what ICE has been doing and what the Border Patrol has been doing. The National Guard, we have for years had more National Guard members helping in New Orleans across the year, different times, but particularly during the carnival season. So that season has ended, and my understanding is they've been winding down that part of it. But they were not doing the activity of ICE and Border Patrol. And as Mason said, I'm not sure that there is any indication that Cataloola Crunch is done and gone in total. There might be, 5 people here connected with that, or even 15, but nothing like it was before. That's our understanding, Pop. I hope that holds you for the moment, and we'll try to find out more.
Well, I tell you what, I appreciate y'all waiting and giving them the time to ask my question. That's why I listen to WBOK.
All right. Well,
So
thank you.
y'all have a blessed day.
All right.
And
Lord's
I'll
blessings,
continue
sir.
to listen.
All right.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, folks, we are going to go into a conversation and check in with the Louisiana State House Democratic Caucus Chair, Kyle Green, because he's been in Baton Rouge since the start of the legislative session. Of course, we had him on before the session started, and I reached out. He's busy with the family and his own law business, and then, of course, doing the state legislature business and leadership business as well. So, State Rep Green, are you there?
I am here. Thank you for having me. Can y'all hear me?
Absolutely. You're on with Will Sutton and Mason Harrison. The state legislature went into session on March 9th and resumed again yesterday. Did you all get anything done in the first week?
It depends how you look at that, getting done. What we typically do during the first week is we have all these bills that have been pre-filed, and what has to happen is that those bills have to be introduced and referred to the committees that deal with that particular subject matter. And so then once they're referred, that's called the first reading, then they're assigned to those committees, and the committees start meeting and voting on these bills, vetting them. And that's what has been happening for the last 4 or so legislative days, that we've been having committees and voting on bills and then sending bills to the floor. Today is actually the first day of the session that we'll be voting on bills that are on final passage. And what that means is that the House will have an opportunity to vote up or down. And if they get 53 votes or 70 votes, if it's a 2/3 vote majority, then it goes over to the Senate. And they start the process all over again through their bill vetting process.
Okay. So what do you expect to be hot this week? So yesterday there was a partial day session. Is that right?
Well, yes, it was. We met in committees met, and we didn't vote any bills on the floor. Today, we have 16 bills up for final passage on the House floor. One of the bills I expect to be controversial is a bill to name a future bridge after President Trump that is being brought by my Republican counterpart in the House of Representatives, who's also a candidate for Congress.
How's that going to go?
I'm sorry?
How is that going to go? Naming a bridge about a future bridge after an incumbent president. How is that vote likely to go?
I have a strong suspicion that there'll be bipartisan objection to doing that. I'm going to just say that.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll just see Democrats opposing that. I think you'll see a number of Republicans opposing it too. Number one, we have a longstanding informal rule that we don't put forth legislation that has an impact on another member's district, right? Because I represent the 83rd district. I was elected by those people to represent their interests and needs. And I wouldn't want my colleague introducing legislation that strictly deals with my district, no more than they would want me to do the same in another member's district. And this particular measure is entirely confined within one of our members' district. The DOTD has released its plan indicating that the bridge will be placed in one of 3 sites. All of those sites are entirely within the parish of Iberville. And Iberville is entirely represented by one of our colleagues. And for that matter, the Iberville Parish is entirely within Congressman Troy Carter's 2nd Congressional District. It's not in the 5th Congressional District.
So there's would be a lot of interest among elected officials in whose districts this bridge might be.
Right. We get pretty particular and parochial when it comes to issues pertaining to our individual districts. Very, it's a very, because I mean, once you open that Pandora's box or that can of worms, you can't put it back in. It's really hard to do that.
Okay.
Mutual respect.
Yeah. So this
amongst colleagues.
Sounds like something that even the rep putting it forward realizes it may not happen, but getting some attention in the meanwhile as a part of running for another office.
That's correct.
Okay, very good. Okay, so what are some of the things that are likely to come up this week, if anything, that with more impact on Orleans Parish, Jefferson Parish, St. Bernard Parish?
So towards the tail end of the governor's State of the State address, he mentioned consolidating the civil and criminal judicial system in the city of New Orleans, specifically potentially merging criminal district court with civil district court into one court and putting forth measures to reduce the number of judgeships that the city has. Conversations are ongoing to see if there's some sort of compromise to be had. But I don't anticipate any final resolution to that, until well into the session. But I can tell you that, all those who are involved are engaging in meaningful discussions to see if there's a compromise that everyone can live with.
Okay. Anything in particular coming up with related to higher education? We're seeing ongoing conversations about that. There was some activity just in the last couple of days about the systems and the Board of Regents seeking more funding and getting some pushback from legislators, essentially saying, as I understand it, you might have to work with what you got or not as much as you are asking for. Is that fair summary, or can you provide some insight about that?
It is, but it's still early in the process because the law requires that the budget originate in the House and then it has to go to the Senate. So we still are in a early part in the process of determining the funding. I can tell you one of my colleagues has a constitutional amendment that would abolish the Board of Regents. And I'm interested to see where that conversation goes. Because I have questions too, as far as the role that particular entity plays when you compare it to the role of the individual governing boards for the different universities and the systems in the state.
Okay. Do you remember the bill number or the sponsor of that bill?
I don't know the bill number. I can't recall that, but the author is Representative Dixon McMakin.
Okay, because I definitely would like to look that one up. That's interesting, especially because there have been concerns, thoughts about do we have too many boards, as well as do we have too many universities as the population declines. So curious about that. So that's Mr. Dixon, right?
Yes, Dixon McMakin.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to have to take a break, and I know you got to move on to some other things, but before we let you go, is there anything important enough that people should be driving on their way to Baton Rouge today or this week or any particular day? There are a lot of groups and organizations that have such and such a day on this day or that day in Baton Rouge while you all are in session. Anything in particular that the family of WBOK family of listeners should know about?
You just never know. you never know what can pop up. Every day is something new and exciting. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I would invite the listeners to tune in to see what's going on. Everything that we do at the Capitol is live streamed and archived. So you can watch it live, or you can wait till the proceedings have finished and watch it at your leisure. And so you can go to the legislative website, legis.la.gov, and you can see everything that's happening real time. Or you can go to the individual House and Senate website and look at the videos on demand. There are tabs there that will list every single floor debate and committee hearing. So you'll be able to be engaged and informed as to what's happening up there. And as the day ends, each chamber will post the digest or the order of the day, which would give listeners the ability to see what bills are scheduled for debate for the next day.
Okay, very good. Democratic Caucus Chair Kyle Green, State Representative from Marrero. Thank you for spending a few minutes with our WBLK family of listeners and giving us an update. I will check in on the website and see what's going on, different committee meetings. I can't attend all of those, of course, but neither can you. So I'm going to tune in, and I'm going to check on that Dixon bill because I'm really curious about getting rid of the Louisiana Board of Regents. That would be a big change. That would be significant. Well, thank you so much for joining us, sir. Lord's blessings. Have a good day.
All right, thank you. And thank you so much for having me. Take care, guys.
All right. Okay, Mason, it's 8:52 a.m. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we got just a few more minutes.
That's right, just a few minutes.
Porch comes on. There might be one or two people who might have something to say. Maybe they'll ask us a question, and if we don't have an answer, perhaps we can give a response. So what's that number?
Well, we talked about a lot this morning, and we want to hear from you at 504-582-9422. That's 504-582-9422.
This is WBOK 1230 a.m. with New Orleans. Just talking about all day long.
Show? Want to hear that guest everyone's talking about? WBOK is now streaming on all your favorite podcast apps. Just search WBOK Media, hit download, share with a friend, and don't forget to rate your favorite shows 5 stars. Because when our voices are heard, our impact grows.
Welcome to Chemical of the Month from the Community Scientist and Rise St. James. This month's focus is polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, or PAHs, formed when fuels like oil, gas, wood, or trash are burned. These chemicals can enter the air we breathe and settle into our soil and water. Many PAHs are known carcinogens, adding to the health burdens faced by communities living near industry. Learn how to protect your health at risestjames.org.
A careless driver can change your life in an instant. Do you know what to do or who to call? If you've been injured in a motor vehicle accident and do not have an attorney, call Auto Accident Help Desk for a free consultation. We can answer all of your questions and estimate the potential value of your case. Call Auto Accident Help Desk and connect with an expert personal injury attorney.
Call 800-269-4524. 800-269-4524.
Don't worry how to handle your medical bills, lost wages, and pain. We will get you the money you deserve.
They got me way more than the insurance company offered.
The consultation is free, and you do not pay any legal fees unless we win or settle your case. Make the smart call. If you've been injured in an auto accident, call Auto Accident Help Desk for a free legal consultation.
Call 800-269-4524. 800-269-4524. 800-269-4524.
This is The Law in Your Legacy. I'm attorney Pete Hamilton.
I'm attorney Ryan Hamilton.
If you had $1 million, would you leave it to an 18-year-old?
Hopefully not, but that's exactly what can happen with a simple will. The money goes straight to your kids when they hit the legal age, no guardrails.
A trust lets you control when and how they receive their inheritance. You can set ages, milestones, or even make sure they finish school first.
Give them security, not a spending spree.
This is not legal advice. That's just a tip brought to you by Liberty Bank and Trust. For more information, go to libertybank.net or contact us at 504-915-5016.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK. Good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. I'm here with Mason Harrison, and what a good series of conversations we've had today.
Very good this morning. Conversations have been very good.
Yeah, and I appreciate your perspectives on schooling. Gave some folks something to think about, perhaps. And, Reverend Calhoun's been on a number of things, over the years, and education is a big one. And having the Martin Luther King High School close in the lower ninth ward is a big deal. But that is something that we're going to see continuing to happen. And with this talk about JFK and Frederick Douglass merging, if there is a merger, it's not going to be into two buildings. It's going to be in one of those two buildings. And as Reverend Calhoun said, Douglass is the older of the two buildings. So what essentially he's saying, what do we think is going to happen? So it'd be in the Kennedy building. So do you think there could be the Frederick Douglass High School and Kennedy be the name of the building?
Well, anything's possible, but once again, right, nomenclature isn't our issue. It's the curriculum that is being taught inside the building. It's like those children, 12 black students at Tulane last year who were upset that the Black Student Union was inside of a building on whose name was a man who was a segregationist or something to this effect. And I thought that was really offensive. And I'm thinking, well, I mean, what about going to Tulane University to begin with? Paul S. Tulane gave the money that created Tulane, and he said it would be for the education of white students. But you're willing to go to Tulane, but you somehow find an objection to going to the Black Student Union inside of a building named after someone who apparently didn't like white people.
I think that's a deeper conversation, and we got to get out of the way for the front porch. But we got breaking news. I just want to mention this to you. Joe Kent, one of President Trump's top people, the director of the National Counterterrorism Center, this morning has announced his resignation because Iran was no threat. This is one of the president's people saying, I'm out of here. I think that's an important development. We won't have time to talk about that today, but perhaps tomorrow. Get ready for the front porch, folks. I'm Will Sutton. This is Mason Harrison with me. And this is WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.